Hey friends, I wanted to talk to you guys about the RDL today. The RDL is one that I see probably most people performing incorrectly. And I think a lot of people don't even quite know what it is they're working. Like when we're working glutes or quads or things like that, I think most people can feel a lot of sensation in those movements, and so they're like, yes, I'm totally getting this. But the RDL, stands for Romanian deadlift, by the way, is a little bit of a harder one for people to wrap their heads around, because I don't know if most people are familiar with what it feels like to train your hamstrings, okay? So it's easier sometimes to feel the sensation of working our hamstrings when we're doing like a hamstring curl, like in the gym, when our legs are working this way, right? That works our hamstrings there. And the reason I think we can feel it a little bit better is we're working those hamstrings in their most contracted position. So you're just feeling them ball up, and we're used to that. But the RDL works our hamstrings in their lengthened position. In fact, studies have shown that actually if you're working your muscles in their lengthened position more, it actually helps to promote more muscle tissue growth. So this is actually a very effective movement for making strong hamstrings. Those working at home will be working with dumbbells. So I'm going to show you what that movement looks like first. So one of the most common mistakes I see is people thinking that the lower they go, the better they're working those hamstrings. That is actually not the case. You need to stay within your active range, okay? So my active range is here, okay? Not here, because what happens, you can probably see that, when I come down here, what am I using to bring myself back up? My low back. And so that's why a lot of people feel it in their low back. It's because they're going too far down. The other thing I see people doing is looking up and around. So I see this a lot. Again, that puts a lot of strain on your low back. When you're starting the movement, think pushing hips back, not pushing weights down. Does that make sense? So I'm pushing my hips back, and as soon as I run out of range, which is right here, my hips do not push back any further, that's it for me, and I come back up. Okay? Keeping my chin tucked the whole time. Notice you don't have to sometimes I see people like trying to keep the weights as close to their legs as possible. Just a natural fall with your arms is fine, okay? You don't have to push the weights against your knees. This is what it looks like from the front. Pushing back with my hips and forward. Back with my hips and forward, okay? Let me show you what that would look like with the barbell. Now, I actually prefer the barbell for this movement. You can load it up a little bit more. You're not trying to balance two weights. So if you have a barbell, I would highly suggest it. If you start really lifting heavy loads with this movement, I would recommend getting grips for that. So let me show you what that looks like. So again, I'm not thinking how low can I push the bar. I'm thinking how far back do my hips go. Okay, I'm keeping a straight leg. Doesn't have to be completely locked out, but relatively straight. And then back up. Okay, I don't need to thrust into the bar, right? Because that actually relieves the tension in the hamstrings. I'm just coming down, 1, 2, 3, and then right back down again. So my tempo typically for this movement is 3 counts down, no pause at the bottom, 1 count back up. Although sometimes, to make the movement more challenging, I will add 1 pause in the bottom at the most lengthened position, where the hamstrings are stretched and there's the most tension, and then come running back up. Okay? So, biggest tips. Think pushing hips back, keeping neck and spine neutral, allowing the dumbbells to fall naturally, and keeping a straight leg. Okay? That's gonna put the tension in your hamstrings. So what you'll feel in this, instead of that crunching sensation when the muscles are all tight, is you're actually going to feel a stretching sensation. And that's what that should feel like. Okay? Hopefully this clears up maybe any questions you've had. This will help improve your form. And this movement you can actually really lift heavy on. So if you're looking around, whatever, I don't feel anything, you're not lifting heavy enough. You really aren't. You can really actually, once you get this movement pattern down, really load up a lot of weight in this movement. So really challenge yourself. If you don't have enough load, get access to more load. That's the only way you're gonna build muscle. All right, have a great week, you guys. Talk to you soon.